Knights of Apollo, are you ready for another medieval SmackDown? What? I can't hear you. Okay, good, because there's over 14,000 troops on the battlefield. All these brave men eager to die for their kingdom, and their people. They proudly wear the banner of their kingdom, ready to thirst on the blood of the enemy. And don't even get me started on the commanders here today. We have some of the finest players in all of the medieval kingdom community. This is a showdown worthy to be witnessed. Now, whether you're ready or not, there is battle to be met. Ha! Alright guys, what's up? It's Apollo here. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome back to another Medieval Kingdoms Total War 1212 AD battle. So we're actually going to do slow motion here because it is pretty quick. Look at it, we already have the Burgundians charging across the battlefield. But yeah, if that intro didn't get you pumped, then I don't know what will. You must be lifeless inside. But for the rest of you who are pumped, I mean, just look at the battlefield. Look at this. So we're going to be checking out the factions here before we get started. We're going slow motion because I don't want to miss anything. I'm already seeing a lot of troops move around. So yeah, 8 armies on the battlefield. Let's start with this side first. We have the Burgundians. So the Burgundians bringing a very balanced build. Actually bringing some English longbowmen, which I believe they were allies with the English, if I'm not mistaken, because they were at war with the French. Then, naturally, right next to them, we do have the Kingdom of England. Excellent, fantastic. We haven't seen them in forever, so it's great to see the English. And then we have Brabant, the Brabantians. So I believe this is like a Holy Roman Empire duchy, I believe, the Duchy of Brabant. So you're going to see some Holy Roman symbols and whatnot, like this key. This man holds the key to my heart. All right, and then finally, after we get through this cringe, we got the final army, which is Toulouse, the county of Toulouse, I should say. No, there's no S. You don't pronounce the S. And they're sneakily crossing the palm tree, or crossing through the palm trees. Let's go to the other side now. Let's check out who they're going to be facing. So we have Castile, the Kingdom of Castile. And then right next to them, we have some Swiss. So we have a Swiss army, which is great. So it's great to see some unique factions we don't get to see all the time. Some Moorish archers too, so a nice mix of cultures because it is Castile, and there is a lot of Muslims in that time, I believe. And then we have the Kingdom of Norway. So we got some Viking ancestry going on here, and then we also have the Kingdom of Denmark. So fantastic. I think these are really great factions. Look at the cav here. Look at this cav. They're ready to go. So let's do some normal speed. Get this one underway and see what happens here. Now, naturally what happens is that there's usually a skirmish. We're going to go ahead and just fast forward a bit until they start skirmishing. It looks like the Burgundians are going to be moving in first, getting their troops in range. So I believe they should be in range by now. So what do we have here? We've got the Retinue Longbowmen of England. Of course, naturally, they're going to be using the long range of these longbows. The longbows are pretty decent. I believe they're pretty decent at penetrating enemy armor. But yeah, they're a very, very good unit, and the fact that the Burgundians also have English longbowmen is going to really put the other side here, which is mostly the Scandinavian factions on this side, at a bit of a disadvantage. But if they can get their crossbows in range, the crossbows, of course, are known for penetrating armor and just mowing down knights, which is why the Pope outlawed them, as long as you use them against the Muslims. That's fine. But, you know, fellow Christendom, you know, you can't use them against the Christians. So yeah, I'm sure people did anyways. The crossbows are going to be pretty nasty. Also, we've got some deep forest. I shouldn't say forest because this is more like, I believe this is near Egypt, this battlefield. So it's like all the Crusaders had a fight and they're like, let's just settle it here. But yeah, there's a little bit of a cav engagement going on, but it doesn't look like it's going to lead to anything. Just maybe scouting that area, making sure there's nothing hidden over there. Really, the biggest juicy part of this battle is right here with the longbows. Now that the longbows are in range of the crossbows, they're starting to take some hits here. You can see some blood splattered on the floor. And man, I mean, talk about the balls on these guys to just like get hit with a crossbow and be like, and that much blood too, that's a lot of blood. And just be like, you know what? No big deal. I'm gonna fire. And these longbows, they're not easy to fire back. A lot of these soldiers, if you look at the history of longbows and those who use them, it was usually a lifelong skill. You worked on your skill your entire life, and they even saw, like, I believe the Mary Rose had longbows intact, and also the remains of the soldiers on that ship. And a lot of the archers there had like bone growth on their arms. Like they just like really strong upper body, because the strength you need to pull back this longbow is an insane amount of strength. So a lot of times you think of archers being like these wussy, like sissy boys, but longbows, they're tough. They're tough. And also, if you look at the Battle of Agincourt, you know, it's not like they slaughtered all the French knights in range. You know, they had to charge in, right, with their weapons. They had to get into close combat, and they were eager to kill some French nobility. And yeah, they didn't take any prisoners, which usually you do. It's like the honor code. That's why they say it's the day chivalry died. They didn't take any prisoners because I think King Henry thought he was getting outflanked, so he didn't have the manpower to watch over a bunch of prisoners. Anyways, back to the focus of this battle. So we're seeing the Scandinavians really awkward advance here with infantry. We're also seeing a huge push through the forest on this side with, actually, it looks like mostly Swiss cav. Actually, it's a mix of Swiss and Castilian soldiers. Castile. So yeah, they're really getting close here, trying to use a bit of a shield wall in using the Hanseatic, wait, how do you pronounce it? Hold on. Whatever. They're using their crossbows to try to do some damage there. I forgot how to pronounce that one. But yeah, more longbows focusing fire. And that's usually how these pitch battles play out. But once the infantry starts going in and the cav starts charging, speak of the devil, look at the cav right here charging forward. They might try with these men-at-arms, might try to get a hit on some of these archers, and they are going to go for it. These archers are out in the open. Let's see if they can... Oh, they're going to counter charge. Wow. Ooh. Oh, man. That's not what they need. And here comes the counter charge by let's see, it looks like what are these guys? It's the Danish. They're charging in. It's the heavy cav. I'm not trying to pronounce that one. And now more and more cav charging in. We even have some peasants here, armed peasants from Burgundy. I guess just slowing up this cav. Maybe he can now use his archers, not worry about friendly fire, because, you know, they're just peasants. You know what you called vegetarians and vegans in the medieval times? Peasants? No, okay. Sorry. That's not an original joke, all right? So this is taking a really awkward a battle formation here, where you can see they're really stretching out their lines and pushing on the flank, and because of that, we have the defending Toulouse faction, the county of Toulouse, kind of defending using the tree line, but it's kind of awkward over in this side because they're getting hit from multiple angles, really, like 3 different angles from archers. Let's head back over here. Yep, the armed peasants have rallied. They're headed back into the battle, charging through. I love these little like ponds here, these little bodies of water. Makes things a little bit more awkward. More and more cav charging in. And again, this is just the natural progression of these types of pitch battles. It starts with the archer fire. Then it's the big epic cav blob of forces. And usually, I think in my experience, since this cav battle is closer to the Burgundians, I think it's going to be in their favor, because look at this. They're already setting up some halberds to support their cav. And there they go. They're going to go into phalanx formation. Push! Push! Their cav is dying, though. And we also have some spears in here. Spear Bondir from, I believe that was Norway? Yeah, I think that's Norway. Yeah. Norway, Denmark. I always get them mixed up. But one of those Scandinavian factions. And then we have some gendarmes. There you go. Gendarmes charging in. You know, words are hard. I'm a little under the weather, guys, so I'm gonna blame it on that. But yeah, epic cav engagement. Let's kind of zoom out here. More and more cav forces charging forward. We actually have infantry colliding over down here as well. So we've got some footmen taking on the Gotland Bondir. Archer fire flying overhead. Very nice. Some infantry kind of checking each other out over here. I think they are somewhat fighting down here. Yes, they are. Sergeants, English sergeants taking on the Gotland Bondir. And down in the water, this would be a kind of nice place to fight. Be refreshing, right? Nice little refreshing water. Here we go. Check this out, guys. Push! Shield wall! Do not break formation! Hold back the enemy! Yeah! So nice long line. I believe this is Squire. It means Squire. So yeah, very nice. Now they're taking on some forces of Brabant. Even more and more of this infantry pushing forward, mobilizing. Castile starting to send in their forces. Should be able to break through these spears pretty effectively. So really what the players are doing. Oh, look at the counter charge. Counter charge! Hold the line! There we go. Oh, these guys. Oh, look at these guys. Got some dismounted knights from Brabant. Charge them in. Give them the cold steel. I'll give them the warm steel, if you know what I mean. So pretty big melee engagement. I mean, that's huge. Look at this. This is like as wide as the map. Oh, nice cav play in the back lines. Who is this? This is the English. Sending over some men-at-arms. Running down archers. Even if this is a suicide mission, this is going to be a huge win. Because I think they're already winning the skirmish engagement. So to really, I mean, this is just rubbing salt in their wounds. So nice little play there. So this battle is turning quickly. Look at this, quickly in favor of the Burgundians, with the support of their ally, which is the English, mixed in with the halberds. They are breaking the Scandinavian cav, and will most likely flee. They will most likely flee from this engagement. This is a close fight, but again, I think it's in control of the Burgundians. And look at this. Infantry starting to waver on both sides, really, but this is looking really good for the Burgundians. All they have to do is clean this up, and then they can just swing around. We even have a general in the fight as we speak. The King of Denmark. Yeah, this is Denmark. That's what I thought. The heavy shock cav. Now we got cav charging down this way. It's a little laggy, guys. There's a lot of troops on the battlefield running down these archers, and this is a huge concern for the other team, the red team. I'll call them the red team because they have the red icons, but it's a huge concern for them because of the fact that they're crumbling over here. Let's just get some close-ups of the center fight, though. And look, there's already some troops wrapping around. Oh my God. It's a bloody fight. It's a disgusting fight. It's a gruesome fight. The water has turned red. Actually, it's still blue, but some major braking over here, though. Major braking. Such an intense battle line. Very intense. Look at the mass break over here. Who is this? Who cannot hold against the enemy? Brabant. Brabant. And now look, they're even charging Toulouse. Toulouse is charging in some heavy shock cav. We got more heavy melee going in, trying to support these lines. They just cannot. They cannot withstand the wrath of the Kingdom of Castile. Let's check out what's going on over kind of near this river, which I assume is like the Nile River or part of it or something. Yeah, things have not really progressed. We do have a lot. Oh, Allies general has been killed. We do have some cav fighting over here, but kind of looks pretty worrisome for Castile in the Swiss. So the balance of power is starting to slightly shift in favor of the blue team, but we'll see how that plays out. This is really concerning though. Cav is just running wild on this back flank side, charging in, doing some pretty good damage there. More Cav pushing around the flank as well. Men-at-Arms, see an operate. Let's go ahead and ride with them. Ride! Arrows focusing them down, but I don't think that's going to be enough. The lances are down, going in for a charge. Let's see if they can land it. Oh, and they're going to counter charge. Look at that. The officer's like, charge, bastard. Fantastic, fantastic charge there. So let's go back over to this side where, yes, more fleeing from the enemy, or for the red team. The general is dead. Whose general was that? Oh, dang it, I missed it. The general has been slain. Lots of breaking going on here. If there's any chance for the red team to win this one, it's right here. So it's a little back and forth because look at, they have broken through Brabant's main line. Look at this mass force. It's just a horde of forces charging through here and trying to clean them up, make sure they don't return to the battlefield. And what they need to do now is surround the forces over here, and that's exactly what they're doing. They've got we got some medium melee infantry around enemy lines. Just charge them in. Support the troops fighting here. But they've got to hurry up because remember, the Burgundians are on their way, just cleaning up what's left of their enemy. Now, if you're the faction taking on the Burgundians, at this point, you just want to slow down Burgundy as much as possible. Slow them down and just try to keep them from sending up reinforcements as you take on your forces. Look at some spears. Look at this. Some two very stretched out Swiss spears. I love how the Swiss are just everywhere. They're everywhere on the battlefield, but this is not good. We're gonna get some hammer and anvil, and this will certainly break the infantry that are fighting in the front lines. This is the English cav here, the men-at-arms. They're gonna retreat out of there. But there we go. Finally, they've committed their swordsmen into this fight. They've got Toulouse surrounded. Toulouse is surrounded. The Swiss and Castile pushing hard and making some progress here. So I feel like it's gonna come down to the two victors. The victorious side over here and the victorious side over on this side. It's usually how these battles go. Usually one side wins and the other side doesn't, and it comes down to the two victorious sides. But yeah, it looks like it's all going to be met in the middle here. And these Braves, wow, wait, well, hold on. Oh no, they broke them. They broke them. The spears should probably hold their ground right here. They're about to get charged, but that's okay. They are spears. They can hold their ground. And now we got some men-at-arms, sergeants charging in. More spears protecting the flank. The Swiss they've kind of put themselves in a tricky situation. Shield wall, but in Swiss, in Swedish. Okay, so yeah, what the red team needs to do here is try to regroup. They've got a lot of archers out in the open, and I think the Burgundians realize that. They're going to be pushing hard and trying to do as much damage. And look, this is just a stampede of war horses, knights, and steel going their way to run them down. We even have the general, Charles the Bold. I remember doing a historical battle about Charles the Bold. I'm pretty sure it's the battle he died in, if I'm not mistaken. He was too bold for his blood. Or maybe he didn't die. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, nice charge there. Look at that. It just looks so glorious. Running down these forces. Then we got the swordsmen holding here. Heavy melee infantry. They're going to try to retreat a little bit. Deal with that cav. But they've got to quickly defeat these forces over here. And who is this again? Toulouse. God, sorry. Toulouse is doing a good job of just keeping these guys busy while their ally moves in. You can see they are just causing a mass rout on these forces. Spears are surrounded. The forces are surrounded. Okay, they're trying to regroup now. They did scare off the cav a little bit. Lots of healthy cav over here. The spears are trying to, you see them charging in over here, trying to keep them contained, trying to keep them in one spot. But the Burgundy is just going to be able to flank around these guys. No big deal. More and more. Look how healthy this infantry is. Amazing. They're tired, but they still, you know, they still got that spirit, that hoorah spirit. Charge! There they go. So they're gonna go in. Come on, get these guys. The spears. They've got a general. Is that a general surrounded? No, that's just a normal cav. So yeah, it's looking pretty bad. Who is this? It's the Swiss. They're surrounded in this cav engagement. It's looking pretty bad, guys. Even though they defeated Toulouse, they're going to have to regroup, and I just don't think they have enough manpower. Really, it's coming down, you know, I think it's just the cav. The cav is what's going to give Burgundy this nice victory. But you never know. They could try to turn it around. Also, the halberds are going to be very effective. There we go. They're going to charge in. Charge! The longbows are now firing. The swordsmen are trying to hold on the spears and swords of the losing team. Fire arrows now trying to break their opponent. We do have a general. Whose general is this? Brabant. The Brabantian Knights. Trying to fall back. So you can see if we zoom out. Yeah, it's not looking good. So I think this battle, it's safe to say that there's no way that the Brabantian Alliance can turn this one around. But really, I think the victory was all right here. The longbows got so many kills. I think the longbows, the mix of the longbows and the cav, as soon as they lost this cav engagement over here, it was pretty much over. I mean, they just ran around, did so much damage in the back lines. It was ridiculous. And yeah, it's not looking good. So I think that's what it came down to. The fact that they kind of outplayed them with the archers and the cav, and the infantry part was just a piece of cake. Now, we did see a little progress from the other team pushing through on this side, but it just wasn't enough. And Burgundy's going to be able to clean up these forces. You can see their infantry is so healthy considering it's how late it is in the game. Let's look at the numbers here. 1,700 to 500. So many men died. Like 10,000 troops died here. Probably more. Alright, pikes are moving up. They got their little square formation. All they have to do is fire their arrows and they'll easily kill these guys. That's pretty cool looking though. Very cool looking. Oh, look at these guys. They look awesome. They look really awesome. Some cool helmets. That looks so sick. I haven't seen these guys before. Now they're getting charged. I'm surprised they charged in their infantry like that. Instead of just, you know, using their archers. Cavs going around, but what does it matter? They form square. There they go. They cleaned up all the forces over here. And these troops are already breaking. They're tier 3 too, so they're good, but without having a general, they just have no stomach to fight. Oh, and there they go. They break. And that's it, guys. That's a victory for the Burgundians and their allies. let's end this replay and look at the results. So like I said, by the way, this was sent in by B Pink Floyd, so thank you so much for the battle replay. So this came down to archers and cav, I believe. If we look at who sent this in, which would be the Duchy of Burgundy. Yeah, 228, 148 with his cav. All of his cav got over 100 kills, some of them getting 200, a little bit over. Archers did fantastic. Halberds did great. I mean, it's just a nice even spread. Armed peasants didn't do so hot, but they are peasants. So here's the results of the other players. I want to give a big thank you to the other players. It was a good game. It was a fantastic game. Yeah, hopefully we'll have another good one. So thank you guys so much for joining me on the battlefield once again. So if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like, a comment, share, and of course subscribe for more epic battles. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on the battlefield.